Afternoon, good evening, whatever it happens to be for you. I hope you are doing very well. Apologies if you can hear snoring in the background. I have got the dogs on my lap. Um, they're having a nice relax. Let's talk about the game, eh? So, I'll go with the starting lineup. I was a little bit confused on why he wasn't playing Xavi, playing some players again out of position, trying a bit of this kind of craziness with what he was doing with the formation. Um, I was a bit confused by that. And I was a bit like, let's see where this goes. I didn't think it was the greatest decision. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Um, and of course, the substitutions, which we'll get onto later. But yeah, I think that was something that was a bit baffling in my mind. I did actually go to the game. On my way in, I could see all the flares that went off. I didn't actually see the bus, but I did see that people obviously going and and cheering them on, which didn't really do much, if I'm honest. Well, the first half, I think that we did try. I think that we had chances, half chances, like, plenty of corners that we didn't do anything with, which was again really, really frustrating to see. We had that chance where Richie crossed it and Dominic Sanker didn't get to it. We had some headers. Like I say, we did actually try, but I don't think we were like knocking on the door, pressurising them. It was fairly open game, in my opinion. Um, and of course, when they got that goal in that the towards the end part of that half, I think that the players' heads definitely did drop for sure. When they come back up that second half, you could see. Um, so it's all half and no puff, in my opinion. Um, so I had to pause and sneeze. Yeah, it was all half and no puff, in my opinion. Then he did make some changes at half time, which I was a bit confused by. He didn't bring on Xavi. I was a bit like, okay. He took off Mickey because he said that, well, he's second in command because he obviously had to go off. I hope everything's okay with him because obviously he's had some bad news within the family. I wish him nothing but the best, of course, because that's obviously devastating. It must have been really bad news because he had to rush off. So, but yeah, half time, as I say, and I don't know why he did that. So, yeah, it's a bit of a strange one. It was said to be tactical, so I don't really understand. When we first come out, I was like, we need to come out with rockets up our backsides and really go for it. I watched the body language as they came out. They came out a bit earlier of that out of their half time talk, but their body language wasn't saying to me, "I'm up for the fight." I must admit. And as I say, I wanted us to score early, come out with like full venom, trying to get get an equaliser to make sure that we get the game up to being level again and see where we go from there. We didn't do that. We looked lost in that second half. We did look lost. He didn't make the correct substitutions, as I say. At some point he did bring off Richie, which I was like, why? If anybody was going to do anything, I believe it would have been Richie. He took him off, and I just think you should have took off Dominic Solanke because he wasn't doing anything. So I don't understand why he made that decision. To me, that was a really bad decision. Definitely not what I would have done. He didn't bring Xavi on until much later in the half when we was already 2-0 down. Once it went 2-0 down, our heads we lost it. We completely lost it. As I say, bringing on Xavi when we was already 2-0 down, what was the bloody point? So those decisions were definitely down to Tudor and the way that he obviously set up. I didn't really quite agree with, and the players that he left out, and then bringing on substitutions that I was like really confused by. I think none of that helped at all. Not at all. We did capitulate and concede another goal. Yeah, it was job done at 2-0 anyway. In my opinion, we weren't going to come back from that. You could just tell. Um, we we really did try and back the boys. I do think the fans really did give it their all for a majority of the game, shouting, cheering. Even when we did get when even when they scored the goal in that first half, we still were cheering. So it wasn't down to the fans at all. It was down to decisions made by the manager and the players. And I think that that first half they showed some fight. They definitely showed something, but our heads really did drop. I think the pressure was a lot, and they didn't hold out for that pressure. It was really disappointing because I did see glimmers of something a bit positive with other games, like the one against Atletico and Liverpool, and somewhat we have fought back in other games, like a little bit like a bit more, with a bit more, like not losing our heads, not dropping down like as much. Even with that, I think the Palace game we didn't drop our heads completely. And yeah, that was obviously something that I am really, really, really disappointed about. I think that Tudor should have made much better decisions. I really don't understand with some of those decisions why he made those decisions at all, and that he could have done a lot better, and he should have done a lot better. The players should have done and could have done a lot better. As I say, I wish nothing but the best for him with the family issue that he's had. But the second in command come out and did say that the substitutions were tactical. I don't think that is tactical because you're not really helping. I know some players have now come back, so I'm not really sure. We had a fairly decent amount of players to choose from. Why not play your best players first and then win the game and then take players off and make substitutions? So yeah, I'm not really down with that. Um, as I say, I just think that was it was the score line flattered them because I don't think it was really a 3-0 game. They were just clinical. They didn't pepper us. We didn't pepper them neither. But it wasn't like that they were fantastic on the day. They just were clinical. And that was that. And we just wasn't clinical. We just couldn't score a goal for love nor money. And that's just not good enough. It isn't good enough. Not when the fans come out to try and give you the full backing and the full support, and that's what happens. Um, I don't think that any player probably covered themselves in complete glory, but I don't think that Tell in that first half was bad. I think he was actually fairly good. I think, like I say, Richie, he does always um, keep himself busy. He also gets back and helps out with defending too. So yeah, not a great game. Um, Great atmosphere at first. Great to see that all the fans did get behind the players, but it was just not enough. It just wasn't enough. And now we are teetering on the side of being in that bottom part of the table in the relegation zone by our next game. If West Ham win, and we will be there by the time we play our game. So that isn't good at all. We now have a break, so we have probably time to stew and talk about it. So I'm sure I will be doing other videos. So please make sure you put your notification bell on and smash the like button if you haven't done so already, because it does really help. And yeah, we'll speak again real soon. Take very good care of yourselves.